Thank you. Yes. Hey!
Hey, what is up, headhunters and executive recruiters?
And
This is
Urza, for the
your
love of God, and Urza.
no,
Oh my
I'm not talking about
God.
the group. I'm not talking about just in general.
Oh,
In general,
that's
headhunters and executive
bullshit,
recruiters
brother.
in general.
Oh, what a
This
coincidence
is
that they happen to
this
be the
is
name of your group. I love that.
that's I named my group first. My my this is your proverbial boy DSP, David Stephen Patterson, and my guest host, the always beautiful and super manly. Please don't tell him any different. Bursting with testosterone, Neil Lebovitz, and our guest for today, the one and the only Rick motherfucking Girard.
Oh my God! Well, thanks for having me, boys.
Man.
Wow,
Yeah,
are those gigantic earphones? You're just glad to see us. Those are huge.
I know. Well, no, I got a small head. They're just normal size earphones.
Don't be
Okay.
ashamed of your small head, sir.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah,
Are
but
they
you
really
use
normal
it quite
size?
well.
Yeah,
Are they
normal
really?
size. I just have a small head. Like I seriously, I wear like a kid's size freaking baseball cap, dude. Like I have a small head.
I have the opposite, dude. I swear to God, my whole life, like football helmets wouldn't fit me. It doesn't necessarily look it, but I really got a gigantic head. Like my friend, the hats don't fit me. Like I buy a normal thing on the street, won't fit me. We should merge our heads. We'd have the perfect size.
Totally. We probably end up looking like DSP's head.
No,
wait. So,
he's got a good mid-size head.
Now, let me ask you this: is the term melon head still? Is it offensive nowadays? Because I can call you melon head. That would fit, right? The big old melon head.
Totally. How's there?
My toddler, Izzy, she's 2 years old, and she's got this big. You know, toddlers have big heads.
Oh, dude, her head is gigantic in the picture. She's cute as a gigantic head on your child.
Cute girl, but you got toddlers have these gigantic heads, and I'm like, gosh, she got such a melon head. I don't want to be a bad dad, but
she's Stewie Griffin from Family Guy. Your daughter. She's adorable, but she got a head. It's gonna cause her problems. She's gonna be beautiful, but she's gonna be known as Big Head in high school. You know what I mean? Well, that's what's gonna happen.
She'll grow into a melon. I'm sure.
She's not a dog. She'll grow into the paws. So
every toddler has a big head, though. That's a feature of toddlers.
So I try. I've been cutting my hair at home.
So
ever since COVID, right? you went a little aggressive.
No. I'm letting it grow right now.
So I've been doing it since COVID, and I wanted to get David's look. David, take your headphones. Just show that little side there. I got to get a good look at that because it's like perfectly the whole. See, look at that. It's got the nice. All right, so I tried to do that, and it went. Now look how bad this came out, right? And I got a date tonight. It's a nightmare. Here, look at this. Ready? It's just
oh man!
Oh my God! Yeah, it's destroyed. And what you should see the back. It's just a disaster. And I thought I was. And how do you have someone do it, right? I think that's the key.
Wait, do you have like little wings on the side?
Oh no, dude! Yeah,
look at it. All right, that's.
I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Like the zigzag, like the '80s rappers, like the white.
What do I do? No, do I just shave my head now?
Own it, bro. Own it. Just go out on the date and go, I know you dig my hair, and just stop looking at it. It's amazing.
Oh, it's hard. And I got a bald spot right here. So when you go in the back, it actually continues now up into it. It's a friggin' train wreck. It's a train wreck.
I got the same. I got a little bald spot right there.
No. For you guys, okay. So you're in Jersey. You're in California. I'm in Florida. Now, for me, dude, I go out. My stylist, my hairstylist. I go to her place, and I'm supposed to wear a mask, but I usually don't. I just go in there or whatever, and they're fine. Like in Florida, we just don't care. And is it that locked down where you guys are at? You can't.
I'm in Orange County, so it's not so bad. But like, if you go up into LA, it's fucking terrible. Like everybody's like going nuts. Here it's just crazy. Like everybody's super defiant and they want nothing to do with it.
You will walk in Manhattan. There's not one person you will not see anyone without a mask in Manhattan. It's wild. Not one. You go to Central Park. everyone wears a mask. It's like it's crazy. I mean, again,
Even if
I'm
they're
not saying
alone.
it's wild. It's
Uh,
wild. Totally.
I will not wear a
programmable too.
mask unless I have to go into a store and they require it. Then I'm like, all right, I'll wear a mask.
It's a massive
But, you know,
hat.
I'm not driving my car wearing a mask. I'm not one of those people.
Oh, you're
Why not?
not a
I
mask
mean,
guy, I know.
it's so safe. Driving by yourself with mask and gloves. I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
It's I'm just saying. I'm not.
I'm kidding.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there because I'm gonna piss a lot of people off. But I will say this. You know, we're all three, you know, young strapping young lads in the prime of our lives about 20 years ago. I think we're probably going to be fine. You know, if we happen to catch the Myceronosaurus. That's just my opinion. So, you know, we'll leave it at that. Anyway, that said, moving on because
I'm
that's
clinically
you know,
obese. I got diabetes. I've got a little brain damage. I'm dying like a friggin' fly. I give me a southern expression. I'm dying like, well, that dills my pickle. Yeah, you know, just dills my pickle.
That tells my pickle. The one of the funniest sayings I've heard from the South was that's slicker than snot on a doorknob. Those are my favorite Southern sayings. That's a pretty good one, right?
That's solid.
Slicker than snot on a doorknob. Anywho, with that being said, enough about this COVID stuff. So let's talk about the man of the hour, Rock Girard, because Rick has beyond just having a beautiful dome, he does have a beautiful dome.
It's a raisin head. It's a raisin head. Yeah, definitely shine.
My mom tells me it's because I'm a C-section baby. Like, you know, apparently if I got squoze out, it would have been different. Probably Penny.
Hey, were you really a test tube baby and they just lied to you so that you were a C-section baby? Like, were you developed in a lab somewhere?
I wonder that sometimes, probably. I'm
a hybrid. Which would be pretty cool to call yourself a hybrid. You know, like I'm a hybrid. I was designed. So Rick. So let's talk about you because Rick's got a lot going on. He's got the Higher Power Radio Show, which I was on, by the way, last year. Is a really cool show. It's actually a recruiting radio show, but he's also an active recruiter. He's got a retained search firm, and man, I guess you tell us about you and what you do because you got a lot. So I'd like to dive a little more into that.
Well, yeah, and you misspelled the word higher. You misspelled higher on your T-shirt. You know,
I know. It's obviously a religious show, right? Like so. No, you know what? It's a show that we kind of structured as a recruiting show, but then we tweaked it because we found that our biggest issues were with hiring managers. I don't know if you guys have those problems as active recruiters, but hiring managers have always been the bottleneck, and so giving them the tools they need, and it's not like that they want to be, it's just that they just don't know any better. So we designed the show in and around being able to like solve difficult hiring challenges for hiring managers so they understand kind of what is happening. David had a great episode with me, as a matter of fact, and I think your episodes had like well over 15,000 downloads or something like that.
How many? 15 or 50?
15.
All right.
I'm not bragging, but
that's like ours. We have 15 downloads also.
Yes, our tens of viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you before you go, guys? Sorry, bud.
No, go for it. What you got?
I was going to talk about your shirt. I was just going to say, so when you're making that, and I get Higher Power clever, and the sun, okay. How did the kangaroo come up? Like, how did you Higher Power? It's missing a kangaroo. Like, well, like, was it just a book of things? And you're like, I'll take that one. Like, explain that to us. What does it mean?
All right, so it's actually a cheetah. You're close.
Oh, it looks like a kangaroo from here.
But I get that. I get that. Exactly. So the idea was the logo for my search firm is the cheetah. So it kind of sprung out of that. We were just kind of blending it together, and it just kind of stuck, right? So, I don't know. It was me being lazy and not hiring somebody to do another logo for me. It's really about it.
It does look like a kangaroo. I swear. I don't understand it. It really does.
Yeah, it probably does. It's not all like lanky. But yeah, and then we have the t-shirts right now. Here, can I plug it real quick? Like, we're actually selling these t-shirts right now to raise money for this company, this nonprofit called Working Wardrobes. And like, I'm a big giver, so I give back. And so what they do is right now, They help people get trained. They do a lot with vets and survivors of domestic abuse, and just anybody who needs help. They give them training. They give them a wardrobe, and they give them a laptop, and they help coach them through the interview process to get jobs. So what's crazy is they had their whole headquarters burnt down in February, right before COVID. And so they had to, like, during this whole COVID time, reopen, find another location, and they're already rebuilt out, and they're still back.
But that's a perfect time, right? I think that's a perfect time to burn down, right? I mean,
right before,
right, because then you're not missing anything, right? You're not missing everything's dead, right?
That's true. Yeah, but they spent a lot of money trying to get everything back up and running. So we're doing a big effort right now to help them. Like, we're selling the shirts for $25, and almost 10 of that goes to them. So we just have to sell 2 million shirts, and we'll be golden.
Sell it to your blog. So how many people are on your regular? How many people watch your show? Because we talk a lot about all these people out here watching this. They got to do their own. Like DSP and I and you, we're nothing special, right? To do this, right? Like, but
talk about yourself. Talk about yourself, Neil. Sir.
All right, fair enough. I'm nothing special.
My mother says I'm very special. But
they should be doing what you're doing. So you reach out to and how many hiring managers do you get to join?
I work a lot with CEOs, because at my level, it's usually executive search. So I reach out to I started out as a business development tool, and I was able to kind of get clients out of it. And then it kind of just morphed into now we kind of bring in an executive. We talk about their story, what happened. And it's a good marketing piece for them too, so that they can actually put that on their website or share it, so people get a snapshot of how they run their organization. So it's been a kind of a nice thing for both of them.
Well, along with that, I'm curious. So this is a different than a typical podcast. This is actually on the radio. So how did that turn out? Because for most recruiters, for them, just thinking about starting a podcast is hard enough, let alone being on a real radio station. So how did that turn out?
So we actually left the radio station in January, and then we turned it into a LinkedIn Live show. And LinkedIn Live's been kind of so now we're broadcasting there. We just moved over to a different radio station. It's an internet radio station called Sitch Radio. So that's a kind of a new thing. We just hopped over there a few weeks ago.
WKNG, Kangaroo Radio. Yeah, it's all everything kangaroo.
It's not a damn kangaroo. Come on, Neil. It's a cheetah. Yeah. So the idea is, cheetah stride. So that's where my search firm is called Stride Search. So that's where we got the cheetah from. I like it.
I like it a lot.
So I do have a question. I would like to dive a little more into the actual show itself, because there's a question I get a lot from recruiters. Is that they want to start getting out there more and doing more things like podcasting, because it's great. In fact, I've got a client right now who I'm doing some consulting work with who does podcast is his primary means of getting new business, and we're just kind of fine tuning that. But before I dive into that, I do want to ask you a question. Now, I don't have a doll in the studio. I just have this cheetah. But I think this cheetah is actually going to work very well, since you are very much a cheetah. Now, if you can show me on the cheetah where Neil touched you. I hope this is not too painful. But if it was anything, I just want to find out where the bad man touched you.
Wait, what are you doing? You're looking for the cheetah man parts? Is that what you're doing?
I'm just saying. Just let me know where Neil touched you.
What the?
I'm not trying to lead the witness. Oh, is that inappropriate? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I always think of that when I have a little animal there. Yeah, I always try to do that. Or the man part.
It's the cheetah. The cheetah works. I'm like, this is perfect. I've been wanting to ask the question for a while, and in an interview, and it was a perfect opportunity to bring on my cheetah and say.
He rubbed my head.
Anyway, that's what. You rubbed your head?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's pretty lame. I'd be insulted if I were you, Rick.
I didn't say which one.
I was raised Catholic, and I always say that. I was an altar boy for a couple of years, and I always say
so
that.
Was I.
I Oh, you were? Were you molested or not? Because I never was.
No, I got out.
You
of
don't
it,
know
yeah.
it. You've repressed
didn't?
You've repressed that. You're not going to
No,
remember that.
No.
I put myself out there. I like I don't know if I was just not attractive. I was not like, you know, it affected my self confidence in a lot of ways.
There was one. I remember there was one priest who made me very uncomfortable, even at an early age, and I always kind of stayed away from him. And I do remember a friend of mine telling me we got back. He was an altar boy too, and he got together like years later when we were having a drink somewhere, and he told me he had been molested by that priest.
Wait,
So I escaped.
Well, we're going to a very dark place on boxers.
I know, right?
Wow.
This is
so
dark.
The
a little
priest
darker than I planned.
the priest
Yeah,
thing
this is a little too early in the morning for this shit, huh?
yeah, it's never too late for molestation.
This is where the healing begins, Rick. Right here, right now, we're doing this. We're diving deep. Listeners, strap in because Rick strapped in back then, and now we're gonna get some healing.
Were you guys Cub Scouts at all? Anyone Cub Scouts?
No,
I was Cub Scout.
Okay. How did your parents? How did the parents not know better? So how did they think this is a good idea? We're gonna get a blue uniform, and we're gonna a kerchief, a gold kerchief with a little ascot thing around there, and and all boys. How did they not? How did something not go off, knowing that something's very wrong with that?
Well, I will say this actually. So I was a Cub Scout. That's all I did. But I will say my son John, he actually made Eagle Scout, which is huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
that just means you're totally aloof. Yeah, I know it is.
But I hear you. The Cub Scout thing can be.
Do you remember the oath? Do you remember this? Do you remember this? I promise to do my best, to do my duty, to be square, and to obey the law of the pack. Do you remember that? That was your pledge.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. I do not remember that.
Isn't that like the Spock thing?
It might be Spock. Yeah. It might have been like this. It might have been like this.
Yeah, it was like this. And or Spock, or turn it this way or turn it this way. It's not the shocker, but this is the Nanu from Mork and Mindy. Remember that Nanu?
You're saying he stole it. He stole it from Spock.
You did.
I'm saying it's. I'm just saying Spock, Mork.
If I ever stole something like that, I'd want to kill myself.
They're both aliens. Just saying. So that's it. Let's take a more serious turn because I think this is the show is going quickly downhill. I'm curious. So let's talk about the show because I think if you were to give advice to a recruiter who is looking to not to get on the radio, but let's just start a podcast and get that going, like how would they go about doing that?
So look, here's my advice to anybody who does this. The fact of the matter is it's the easiest business development tool ever. When you reach out to somebody who's a prospect and you're offering to give them the ability to be on your show or do something or talk about themselves, they get back to you. I can send out 10 emails and I'll probably get 11 back saying, yeah, I'm interested. I'll be on the show. And then I set up conversations with everybody beforehand and I get to know them a little bit. So it's a huge, I mean, it became very easy to do that as opposed to like really cold calling for hours on end and getting no response.
There's no excuse for cold calling today. There is not. And
I still do it. I had fun with it though. It's kind of fun if you make a game out of it. Yeah, exactly. Cold calling is not a bad thing.
Well, but I mean truly cold. Like I go into LinkedIn. I don't do what all these people do. Where, hi, I'd like to join your network because I think we're mutual. Because hey, I see we're in the same industry. I go in there and I write something funny about it, just geared to them. Yeah, which is true. Exactly. I want to just connect with them. So I'll talk to them about their name or about their school, and it's just something cute and light. And almost always they reply, and it's not a trick. I just don't want a cold call, and I'm like, hey, and. It's not a canned, except for my automation stuff, but that's a whole age-old thing. But I don't know. I don't see any need. I don't know why everyone doesn't do that. Why don't they just go in and just connect with someone? We got all these tools.
Well, if you don't know somebody, it's a cold call, right? Like, so no matter what, it's a cold call. But I mean, the truth of the matter is don't do the same stupid cold call that everybody else is doing. Hi, I found you on LinkedIn. You're perfect for my job I'm recruiting for.
Whoa.
I mean,
Connect
you know,
first, right?
you might as well, yeah, you might as well just say, hey, by the way, I'm looking to make rent this month, and you know, you'd be a really
You're
good
better
paycheck
off.
for me. Yeah,
You're better off
probably.
saying that actually.
Yeah.
Like what I teach is like I love just going to right forward and just when they pick up say, hey, this is a cold call. Do you want to hang up right now? Or can you be 30 seconds? And it goes there's a whole thing that goes after that, but it works because it's such a pattern interrupt as opposed to, hi, this is David Patterson with the Kinetic Group. How are you today?
A pattern
Great.
interrupt, David. Am
My
I
purpose
detecting
of my
Sandler?
call is to that is a very much Sandler. That's where I got that.
Sandler
And
the
it
Sandler
works.
training.
It works beautifully, yeah, because it's quite literally they're taken aback, and if you do it with enough confidence and with the pause, hey, this is I said this is, but hey, this is a cold call. Do you want to hang up? Or
You know, it's
say,
been
well, give me
working.
30 seconds, and I'll explain why I'm calling. Then you can tell me if it makes sense to talk more.
You know, it's been working for
And
me.
don't say yeah.
Have you guys heard of Chris Voss?
I have.
Mm-mm.
Look up Chris Voss. Like he's that hostage negotiator. He's got a master class, and we did some training with
I've
him.
heard him.
So what he does,
In
he
case
searches
you
for
have to
notes.
negotiate with hostages one day.
Well,
I'm going
if
to
you
teach
think
you this
about
in the
it,
event that you're in the Iraq desert. You know.
well, if you
Okay.
think about it, what is a hostage negotiator do? He sells prison sentences, right? So it is a sales job.
That's a yeah. I guess I could see that he sells prison sentences compared to the
Yeah,
alternative, which is getting
or
shot.
death.
Or
Yeah.
yeah, that is
No,
interesting. That's a good
but
way
what
to
he
put it.
does, I started using and toying around with his stuff, and so what he does is he hunts for a no right off the bat. So instead of saying, "Hey, is now a good time to talk?" you say, "Hey, would it be a ridiculous idea for you and I to, you know, chat for a quick moment?" Well, no, it's not a ridiculous idea. Now, like, there's safety in no, and when you say
They can
yes,
just say no.
yeah, and that's no, but there's safety in no. So it just opened the door up for me to have a conversation with somebody, as opposed to when you say yes, there's 3 different types of yeses. Like, so you're most likely getting a, oh shit, I don't
You
want to say
guys are
no,
you're
but
Sandlering me out. You know the Sandler training.
that's
It's
not a
wonderful.
Sandler. That's not Sandler.
Oh,
But
Or conversely, you could say, is this a bad time? You know? No, I mean, 'cause again, it's always
but
they're
is it a bad
conditioned
time?
to
To
say
me,
no.
I don't know. To me,
that's
that's
Yeah.
like
that's a,
I hate the. Is this a
I
good
used to
time?
do that one.
Are you
I used to do that
busy?
one.
And especially when you schedule a call. Is this still
it's
good? Like the
common.
stupid question. Yeah, I scheduled a call, but it's like, hi, let me give you an out. Hi, is this still good? We
Mhm.
scheduled it for noon. Like I don't know. It's
Mhm.
weird to me. Like yeah, it's still good. We scheduled it. You
Well,
doofus.
that's a scheduled call. This is it's like a pattern interrupt where you're taking somebody. It's just doing anything different than the standard. Hi,
No,
this
no,
is
it's not
David
different. That's
Patterson
not
with the blah
different. They
blah
all
blah.
say that. Everyone opens with
Mhm.
that. Hi, how are you today? Good. And they don't even listen to me. I love when they cut me off. How are you?
Well,
And I
don't
always say
say.
something.
Don't ask them how they are, because they know you
I
don't give a
don't.
shit. In fact, a great way to do this to telemarketer is to keep you from doing it. Is when a telemarketer calls you and they say, hi Neil, this is blah blah blah. How are you today? And you say, oh, my dog just died, and man, I'm really sorry about it, man. Horrible. And go on
Oh
about it,
wow.
and
Okay.
then
I
you
say,
hear him say, oh, I'm
I say, I'm
sorry.
shitty. I got herpes.
Well,
I
the
just
purpose
found
of
out I
my
got
call
herpes.
is, yeah, it's right, because because they don't give a shit how you are. So stop saying it. Stop asking. In fact, we also been experimenting with this. Is not even seeing your name and what you do, going right into it and going into what you do and the pain that you solve. And when they're asking you, well, who's this? What do you do? That's a buying sign that you may be able to extend this call longer. Because trying to think about, like, how can you avoid all the things that everybody else does at the beginning of the call?
But you
This
know
is
what?
David Patterson with the Kinetic Group. No one gives a shit. So
Right.
cut
But
it.
And
that's what you have.
Cut it.
but nobody cares about your company or your job either. Like
No.
anything you're selling, the worst thing you do is call and go, "Well, I think you're a perfect match for my company." That's like totally assumptive, and you don't even know anything about that person. But you know what they do care about is themselves.
Right, but how many
So
people don't have phone calls, right, where they don't warm it up? Like no small talk. You have to have you have to just connect at whatever level. Like I never go right into it. I'm amazed when people call me up and like, hi. So Neil, like, what are you doing? Like, address me like as a human being. I don't know. You like
well,
it.
No. The way I do it is this. It's really, you start off with the pattern interrupt. There's a cold call. You want to hang up, or tell you what. Give me 30 seconds. I'll tell you exactly why I'm calling, and then you can tell me. It's the upfront contract. You could tell me if it makes sense to talk further. That kind of warms them up, and it gives them control of the call, so it puts them a little more at ease. It's weird. They always say yes, and it's really rare you get to know. And then it gives you some time to then go into your thing, and then you can warm them up that way. But that's what I found is that as soon as I say, "Hey, this is David Patterson, the Kinetic," I've got like split seconds before I lose them.
So you drop the
when they answer the phone, I drop it all. Drop all everything. I drop my pants. I drop it all, and that hooks them every time.
Yeah.
With
Skype.
Yeah. Well, I find that you have like really 10 to 15 seconds to get somebody engaged, right? Like you really don't have that much time. But
even less.
What I found,
even less.
Yeah, but what I found is as soon as I can get them talking about themselves, and look, I say this, it's not popular. I remember I got flamed a little bit on Recruiting Animals show. He ended it with like, "I'm no therapist," right? The fact of the matter is that when you're recruiting somebody or trying to get somebody, they all have problems. They all have pain. Nobody wants to hear it. But if you're offering to be that person to listen for a minute, man, it builds that relationship that much quicker, and you'll keep that person on the phone for an hour if you want. Then you can talk to them about whatever they want.
Yeah. Well, what I found is that people in the industry typically, whatever industry you work in, typically feel very similar pains. Or at least if they're open to what you have to offer, then they're probably going to be feeling probably 3 or 4 or 5 different pains that you could talk about. So typically, at least how I do it is when I call in and I get my 30 seconds, I don't tell them about all the great things I do because they don't give a shit. I just say, hey, I work with blanks, and I go and look, and usually they're frustrated because of pain 1, pain 2, pain. I'm just throwing them out there, the impact of the business. Look, does that resonate at all with you? Because if I can get them to at least talk about the things that are bothering them, that's going to hook them into a longer conversation. Otherwise, I'm just trying to push what I do down their throat, and they don't care. I want, just like you said, you want them talking about things that are a career wound or staffing wound or recruiting wound or talent wound, just a wound in general. Give me talking about your bad things. And if it's something I could solve, then we could talk about what I could do. And if it's not something I could solve, I'm going to move on.
Exactly.
Basically. Yeah.
And you can't say the same thing each time. If you catch yourself sounding the same on every call, it's going to sound horrible. It's a script. It becomes rote, and it sounds. In fact, someone was calling me, and I made fun of them. Right? They were giving their shtick, and they're talking like, and I interrupt them. I said, "Listen how funny it is. You're on a sales call," and they're like, "So, Mr. Lebovitz, what I really wanted to do was talk to you about what we have going on this week. Now, with that," and I'm like, stop. I'm like, how funny is it?
That's not
I'm like, you don't talk like that out with your friends. Like, I don't know. It's like a weird thing. Like, why?
But you know what? I hear I. That's not about me. I can give a shit about you. Right? Like, I wanted to talk to you about, like, what benefit are you giving me? Honestly, why am I going to invest 5 minutes in a phone call with you?
Yeah, but the script, though, it's not so much that you have a script, because the script, like, the way I look at it, it's a user error. It's not system error. Like, in the sense that if you go to a play and somebody's emoting and just giving emotion and you're into it, it's script. They're doing it word for word, but they're acting and they draw you in, as opposed to somebody else on the stage. Like, yeah, they're just reading it. It's not the script's fault. It's the actor's fault. Just like with the script on your phone. I'm presenting to you an SAP candidate. For example, I can talk in. I can go in and make it sound so natural. Even though I'm saying the same thing every time, because I'm making sure I do the pauses.
That's not normal. I mean, it's not.
Anybody could do that. They practice. They don't
I don't know.
Yeah, they can, or they shouldn't be in this business, because
it's
simply a matter of it should be a matter of practicing your script and making it sound natural and really, but no, it's like trainers always say, you should record your phone calls. Who does? No one does.
No, but
like you want
to have a script though. Like if you don't know what you're talking about though, right? You can still do this job and do it in such a way where you don't need a script of what to say. Just keep it simple and get somebody else, get that other person doing the work for you. People will tell you everything that you need to know in the very beginning of a conversation. They'll feed you everything. But when you get closer to an offer, that's when they start getting they start getting tight-lipped, right? But in the very beginning of that relationship, you can front load everything, and you can get everything you need.
Well, with crypto, for me, it's not so much like, you know, you use crypto all the time, but I think a lot of times is people let the other person take control because they don't know what to say, or they don't know the cues, they don't know the transitions, and they don't get to where they need to be. And so what
They're
you need
relieved,
is
David. They're relieved when when the person takes over. Relieved.
Yeah, and
That's true.
yeah, really. So what the script does, it provides a room. So like when you get better at it, then you move away from the script, and then you can ad lib a little bit within a framework. But until you get super advanced with the framework, rely on the crutch so you can get there, and then you can start stripping things away and keep it more natural. But
your call is basically
that, then you're out of luck.
But your conversation should be like herding cats, right? Like you just want to keep them on the path, getting them to where you want to be. And your goal should be to get to the truth, whatever that pain point might be.
Well, it's baby stepping. It's baby stepping. So, like, when I say we get them a cold call, right? Your goal is to get a job order, or maybe eventually, maybe yes, or whatever it is, or get a candidate. The baby step is get your 30 seconds, right, or your minute, or whatever. Just you can talk about what you do, and then after that, what's the next baby step? Get them to give you a pain, like what's going on with them, and get the next 3 to 5 minutes. Baby step it, and after that baby step, get a little bit of interest then because they're probably busy. Schedule maybe a 15-minute call after work to talk a little more further because you got some interest there. Baby step, and then what's the next baby step after that? And if you, just like you said, herding cats, just got this sort of framework you're trying to get them on, and just get into the next thing, the next thing.
Right, but that's not a script. See, I like that, David. I like, but I would always train people not to use this. Maybe you call this a script. Bullet points is always the way I would train new people. Bullet points in the framework. So here's where I'm going to do my intro with something kind of cool that makes me different. Here's why I'm calling you with a neat kind of angle. Here's that pain. So I know if we want to,
yes,
but I found it easy because I found people would sound scripted especially in the beginning. Like it's so hard.
No, you can say, okay, so for example, I call up and say, hey, Rick, this is a cold call. Do you want to hang up? Or tell you what, how about this? Give me 30 seconds. I'll tell you exactly why I'm calling. And look, at the end, you just tell me if it makes sense to talk. Is that fair? It's scripted. I guess word for word, but you practice the ums, you practice the ahs. But
you
don't do that.
No, but here's the thing.
Practice that. If you don't do that, what's going to happen is half the time they're not even going to say what they need to say, and they're going to very quickly let the person take over. And once you get to the point where you know that people respond to it and you've done it naturally, then you can kind of move off of it. But until then, I think what happens is if you go in unscripted, it's not a sense of having a script on robotic or no script and you're flowing. You can actually do it both ways and combine it. It's just that when you don't give someone a structure, they won't do the thing very rarely because the pressure involved.
Like what you're like, if you fail to plan to fail, right? Like you don't have it scripted, you have it internalized. That's really the difference. I can see in your body movement what you're doing, you're acting it out.
Yeah.
The emotion comes through. I want to talk to you. You call me with that, yes, I'm going to talk to you. But if you sound like you're reading, hi, Mr., and you're messing up somebody's name, right? Don't ever say last names. Just say first name. Hey,
how are you today?
Right. It's just a practice. It's a matter of practicing and looking for them, but like as if you're about to go on stage for your command performance and need to emote. And so, because you wouldn't tell an actor to go out, well, just wing Howland, just wing it. But no, you give them a script, you practice it, and then what happens is you practice it enough, you get the feel because then the interesting thing happens is like then you get a feel for when you can like improv in the middle of a talk, and you know that if you say. Like, for example, if you're looking for, and I got this a lot from actually Jordan Belfort, he talks about tonality. He talks about like when you want to get agreement, you change your tonality to, is that fair enough? Like you do the emotion, or like when somebody's telling you about their pain, like a candidate, right? They're telling you about their issue with work or this and that. Yeah, really? Oh man, you express the emotion and they pick up on it. And once you get good at it, you can throw in these different tonalities to get them where they need to be because you're kind of a master at it. But you need but it's like karate. You need the kata first to get it down. And once you master the kata, then you don't need the kata. And then you
You know,
just
you
kind of
said
freeform
something.
it. But
You said something really quickly before that I thought is really important, and it's something that I learned early on in seminars, and I would teach to people. And you're just like, you got, and expand on it when you said you got to master your ums and ahs, and you went through that really quickly. But I don't know if a lot of people know what you're talking about there. Explain what that
oh yeah,
means, because it's such a critical part of, you know, of a sales call, right? When you're trying to sound, you know, natural. What did you mean
yeah.
by that?
It makes it authentic. You know, when you're thinking like, well, really, Neil, it really should be about this. Like that could be scripted, but I'm making it natural because that's what people do when they talk. So I'm not, if you sound robotic, that's like kind of, and people, it's too scripted that because they've
No,
eliminated
right.
all of that and it sounds like a robot. And
You
we
can't sound
expect,
like a script if you
yeah,
you know,
it's,
if you do that, you
well,
can't.
it's the uncanny valley in sales. So they talk about the uncanny valley in movie making, and where they create these not like Toy Story, when they have this like digitized person, and they can make it perfectly. But because it's so perfect, the more perfect it gets, it looks uncanny because we're seeing humans as imperfect. You know what I mean? And so they can't. They can get animals, they can get toys, but they can't do a human face well enough to where it seems completely natural. And it's the uncanny valley. It's just kind of like the uncanny valley in scripting. Really, it's too perfect.
No.
That's why I look at it. Yeah. Sorry, I meant to be talking about podcasts, and we were
Wait,
talking about cold calls,
were
man.
breaking news coming? What's going on? Like, I'm waiting for Neil to like give me some earth-shattering
No,
news.
no. We wait for David. This is David's
Oh yeah,
cue, but
you got to look at this video. It's my cue. Oh man, here we go.
No,
Here
but
we go.
you
Here we go.
mentioned Jordan
And
Belfort, by the way. Like,
oh yeah,
that guy's a master of tonality. That's really what
yeah,
has made that
so
guy
good.
successful.
Rick,
Like,
this
you know,
is my segment, Rick.
oh, my bad.
No, just
There's
kidding.
yeah, and with Jordan, there's the Quaalude tonality, there's the cocaine tonality, there's the there's a
But
blow on a yacht and a big storm tonality. Yeah, a lot of the tonalities. He's mastered all those tonalities.
Chris Voss talks a lot about tonality too, which is kind of interesting because he talks about his late night DJ voice.
I'm sensing a
it's
little man
comforting.
crush on this Chris Voss. There's a little man crush going on there.
There might be a
I
little
see it.
romance spreading.
It's like
You're right,
David
Dave.
with Danny Cahill. It's the same thing. Danny Cahill crush.
All right, we're going to roll with news. You guys ready? All right, let's do it.
Hi, 11:43. We're on the hour here for news coming on the Herc and the Ursa with Rock Girard, David Seven Patterson, and okay, I don't know why the hell I just did that. So, first
That's
story
pretty
today.
good.
That's not bad, right? Not bad. A little bit. I prefer the 50s one. Our top story, right? I just always love that one. But so I think this was a good one. So Indeed, they track down been a pretty good indicator, and they look at how their job postings do year over year. So what do you guys think? How much do you think the jobs are changed from 2019 at this time, exactly a year ago? October 9th, to be precise.
The number of jobs?
Number of jobs on Indeed.com. Where do we stand now? Any guests?
I've probably gone down, I would imagine.
It's
Yeah,
down.
probably
Well,
right.
yeah, it got down.
It's
Quarter
down.
of there was.
It's down. It's down. Definitely. Yeah.
Maybe about a quarter of where it was.
16.9%. But I'm going to say it was down 40%, down 30. Think about it though, right? And the estimates of perm revenue now, and I'm telling you, there's lots of success stories out there now for sure.
Yeah.
Business is down 15%. Like honestly, we don't want it, but big deal. Right?
But it's commodity. A lot of commodity recruiters are having a hard time. That's why I think is offering a really good service is so important on it, because every dollar that a client spends matters. They look at it, and you gotta earn that dollar a lot more than you had to a year ago, I think.
100%. That is so true. And that you can't go into a client presentation and just go, well, yeah, we'll find you people. You can't have a transactional relationship and expect that it's going to be successful.
And it's
Because they want Amazon level service, right? Like they want customer obsession. They want you to be 100% thinking about them, nobody else.
All right, so I got a good story here. So that one, I just want to bring out some good news here because it continues to decline. This one was businesses.
Like our show's quality. Sorry.
So businesses will divide work equally between humans and machines by 2025. That was from the World Economic Forum. Businesses are going to divide work equally between humans and machines, and just 4 short years, really. What? Really? I'm picturing like Terminator. Like, is it gonna be like that? Like with the crunching of the skull in the beginning, and like that seems I mean, that's 50, like half. Really? You guys think that's possible?
Well, I mean, looking at they're already doing with auto dialers. Like, so I mean, if somebody gets good on writing scripts for auto dialers, they'll probably do a better job than a human.
Unless a human really practices their script and is really good, you know what I mean? I can see that, but at the same time, I think that there is again the uncanny valley issue where, you know, especially when it involves human interaction, if you can tell it's robotic, and then it's going to be kind of weird. It's going to weird somebody out. I think the people-to-people interactions, the intellectual jobs, the what they call the knowledge worker jobs are going to increase.
Okay,
sure.
but come on, your pizza maker is going to be a machine. The massage therapist is going to be a machine. The mailman's going to be a machine. Like, to me, 50% seems ridiculous. I mean, I might buy a machine for a massage. I'm not going to lie.
It's more ridiculous. I mean, well, look. To be honest with you, just like, you know, 50 years ago, they thought we'd be, you know, flying cars by now.
Right.
Like, futurists are always wrong. It seems like they're never right.
But how dare you guess 2025? It's right around the corner. Why not pick like by 2040? Then you're good. No one's going to remember it anyway. No way, 2025.
That said, you know what I hate? I hate it. I hate going to a McDonald's. Well, I'm not a big McDonald's guy, but my kids are. But going into McDonald's and they got the kiosk there. Maybe I'm old school, but I want the
shame on you for feeding your kid McDonald's.
Well, they want it. My son eats McDonald's all the time. But you know, now to go to a kiosk, right? It's just a weird thing when, you know, I'm used to the high school kid with the acne, and now there's some, you know, 54-year-old man behind the counter, and he's got 3 kiosks, and he's got like it's just a weird thing. And nowadays you don't have the high schoolers working at McDonald's anymore. And that's where I worked in high school.
Wonder what's great about October?
You know what's scary though? I was gonna say, you know what's scary though, is like I think in our generation, like I don't want to deal with something that's automatic, or I don't want to deal with a bot, right? Because that human interaction I enjoy. But what's scary is my daughter and her friends, they're so programmed now to be digitally stimulated that it will probably be by 2025. It will be okay.
Your daughter is digitally stimulated, dude? Is that what you just said?
Anyway,
you know what October is great for me? October, you know what that means
in
my mind?
Hey, my daughter's 10, dude.
Oh my God. Sorry. I didn't mean that. I meant stop it, David. October means we're on the better side of the Shamrock Shake. We're only 5 months away from the Shamrock Shake. It's one of my happiest times. I get a timer on my computer that it's, you know, 112 days to Shamrock Shake. It's delightful. They don't have the Arctic Orange
Shamrock Shake. If you guys are in UFC, back in the old UFC fight between it was a Ken Shamrock that trilogy was Ken Shamrock, and it was the Huntington Beach bad boy, whatever his name was. I remember one of the questions Ken got knocked out. He was doing the Shamrock Shake. I remember us joking about that at the time.
It was Tito Ortiz.
That's kind of a Tito Ortiz. That's what it was. Yeah. Tito Ortiz. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my God,
big old thick neck.
How about the Arctic Orange? Arctic Orange, the milkshake, the Arctic Orange. Remember that? It was a McDonald's milkshake. It was a creamsicle. It was orange, the Arctic Orange, and I think that was the Grimace would drink the Arctic Orange.
Do you gonna think I'm weird? But I haven't had McDonald's or fast food in like 20 years.
No, look at your shape. You're weird.
I'm lactose intolerant. I don't eat shakes, man.
Yeah. There's no milk in the shakes there, dude. You've seen how they make it. I
I haven't stepped into a McDonald's, I swear to God, in like 20 years. So I
Well,
have no
look, so
idea.
for me, it's just my kids, but I will say, like when I was younger, Taco Bell was cuisine, especially 3 a.m.
Oh yeah, in
Now, just
college.
the thought of Taco Bell is gross. It's like, ugh, I can't even
Yeah.
imagine eating that crap. But yeah, when you're early 20s, that is cuisine, basically.
Yeah, dude. I actually wrote in college a how-to paper on how to eat a Taco Bell burrito on the way to the beach as you're driving to the beach. Like, and I got an A on it.
And you can eat that
I
crap.
had
You
that
wouldn't
shit
get
figured
fat.
out.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can eat anything back then, and now I sniffed chocolate and I gained 5 pounds, which is not physically possible according to the current laws of physics. I'm not quite sure how that works. I think it's magic, but I don't know what it is. Anyway,
All right. So one
what's the
last
next news item there, Neil?
thing. Yep. I was just gonna say, I know how to do the news. I know it's time to move on. I sensed it, David. Stop playing with your.
Hey, Neil, it's time to move on now.
Yeah. Wow. So 50. Listen, I think this is a good one for recruiters to really know, because 54% now of people polled, of adults polled, fear of losing their job in the next 12 months. Think about that. And this was a massive.
Yeah.
More than half, or just call it half the people that you talk to as a recruiter fear lack of stability and losing their job, right? So, I mean, I think that's such a powerful tool to know and to tap into, right? I mean, I like major.
Well, it just goes back to your thing,
further
David.
that, when you're selling your services. So I've had this conversation about a few times. When you have a client that says, well, yeah, there's lots of folks out there, and yada yada yada, and of course, we always respond with yeah, but usually it's the A players, people that are really really good that aren't laid off and they're currently employed. But here's the kicker: yes, a lot of them are afraid about losing their jobs, but it seems more than that thing is that they are. Now there's less of a safety net, right? Because a year ago, you can go and take a new job, didn't work out, and in a week you'd have 3 more offers, and maybe some industries that's still the same. But I think there's a perception of a little bit more risk whenever because it's better to, I guess the devil let you know, as they say. And so for me, I say, look, that's why they need people like us, because we have the skill to be able to, within a nuance, be able to skillfully draw them out when they may be scared to make a move, because there's less of a safety net out there, at least the perception that it is, or the perception of less of a safety net is out there. So that's my thought. I think that is a good thing to know for people trying to sell the value behind using a headhunter like us.
I will say from my perspective, when I've been calling and doing recruiting calls, I'm getting a lot more people picking up, a lot more people talking to me. So it is getting, I think that is evident of that.
And if you have a company that hasn't laid people off during COVID, or that has a special attitude about it, or they've just been growing, they have a stability to them. We need to milk that now. You need to milk it, right? It's just a big, big, big thing, I think,
Well, also,
Oh, yeah.
look, I mean, at the end of the day, you have a VP that you've been calling for years, that never returns your call, never returns an email. Now all of a sudden books a call on your career call calendar. Like these are great opportunities to talk to those higher ups that you never had a chance to talk to before, and build that relationship for the long term. If you're not doing that now, it's just it's an easy win. It's really an easy win for recruiters, I think.
Yeah. That is so true. And the fact is, like, you should be doing a lot of business development for when things pick up right now. Like, just developing those relationships over and over again. Because people are taking your calls, right? So I set things up, even if they don't have anything now, be the first person they're going to call when something opens up.
Right, you got to be on the phone right now, talking to, you got to take advantage, because the return and the investment you get by talking to all these people that normally wouldn't, or normally aren't scared, or it's priceless. These relationships you get, and they're not cold calls, right? And you get to talk about anything, you get to connect and laugh, and these are going to be your business buddies in the future. Those that aren't on the phone because they don't have enough job orders, or woe is me, you're losing out. You're not making money right now, and you're not doing anything to build the future. So,
and you know what? Actually, but I will say this: if you're doing those like career calls / leadership calls with higher ups, the one thing that I've noticed with recruiters is that they won't go in for the kill, right? They'll talk and talk and talk, but they won't ever talk about getting about new business or about working with them to help them hire. Granted, I'm not a fan of the flip call because the way flip calls are taught is super clunky. But as an example, I have a client of mine, Karen, and she's class talking to. She was a leadership call with an executive who was. It was a 300K executive at a plastics company. He was retiring, but he's talking to her because he wanted to do some contract work and all that. And as they're talking, he mentions the retirement, and immediately she said, "Who's replacing you?" And I think it was a couple weeks later, she's pitching a retainer on the 300K position at the company because she smelled blood and went after it. And a lot of recruiters don't do that. They're
but they know why you're on the phone. That's what's so weird. They know it's a sales call. So why are people resisting from making it a sale? Like trying to it's just weird to me. And
because it's safe. It's like going on a date with a girl. You go into for the kiss, you may get rejected. If you never go for the kiss,
I'm getting rejected tonight, brother.
Yeah, you're right.
No way, dude. Hey, Neil, own that shit. You will get a kiss. You're like, check it out. I just cut my own hair tonight. Isn't it awesome? Like,
she's a COVID. She's already made it clear we're social distancing and she wears a mask. Like, that's hot. Yeah. Wear your mask, baby. All right. Anyway, David, we got to, it's wrap time, my brother.
Oh, it is time. Okay. Yeah, we're going to end a little bit early today. Neil has a thing he has to be at. So we are going to end early. But Rick, it has been amazing having you on. And if we can give you some of the final words, so let me ask you this. What advice would you give a recruiter right now who is listening to this and he's wondering, okay, what do I do right now? How do I go out and secure my business for the next year? What should he or she do right now?
So my advice would be make the calls, connect up with people. People will return your calls, but be persistent. I'm finding like right around that 5 to 7 call mark, I'm getting people responding back sometimes. If you have a podcast, utilize whatever you can. But here's the thing, make that conversation about them and giving them some value by understanding what's going on with them personally or professionally, right? Don't try to pitch your company, your job, anything else. And don't try and pitch that sometimes just being the listening board is all they need to hear, right? And people will feed you all this information, like you just said, like ask the questions, go deeper, let them feed you the information that you need so that you could, effectively do your job or give them value sometime down the road if they don't need you right now. 100%. But don't try and pitch something you don't need to pitch.
Give a damn.
Yeah.
Give a damn, basically.
Yeah. Be a therapist right now. I know it's not nobody has time to do it because they're trying to make call after call, but put in that collective collateral so that they think of you when they need you.
And as well, to add to that, give a damn and really give to them. But I also say, if your service really can help them, don't be afraid to offer it. No. Because it's not so much about you making a sale. If you have a $10,000 check in your back pocket and you meet somebody who really needs it, would you feel bad about offering it to them? No.
Yeah,
feel good about it.
I'm spending time, if I can't help somebody out, I'm coaching them and I'm giving free time away because I know that that's what they need. If I can help somebody, great. And everybody needs help right now.
And the great thing is, if you really care and you're giving a damn, it gets really cool when you decide, you know what, I don't think this person needs my service, and you don't offer it to them. And then the next person say, but this person does, I'll offer it to them. And then it puts you in a position where you care so much and you believe what you do.
Oh, and it makes your job, it just makes your day awesome, right? Like we love, it's great for business, but you don't do it for business. It comes from it. It's wonderful helping people out. And it's and it always comes back. That's what's it's a thing to do. Anyway, I do have to run. I think my closing thoughts are, aren't we all kangaroos, Rick? Really, when it comes down to it. I think we are.
You're saying you got a pouch.
I do in my head.
and I guess my closing thoughts are, Rick, next time we have you on, it's been an honor. Next time we have you on, I do want to talk about where Neil touched you, because I think that we need to really dive further into that. It's an area where I think we really need to explore.
I think you're jealous, DSP.
He always
he wants some of this. He wants some of this.
I do want some of that. That said, all right, everybody, thank you very much for watching. A couple things. Don't forget our split board, headhuntersplits.com, and for Neil, it's bosssplits.com. The check out my new app, thepockethheadhunter.com. If you need to work with me or you want to work with me, you know how to find me, book a call. And with that being said, everybody, oh, and also one last thing, buy a t-shirt from Rick. Rick has his charity thing going on. Maybe Rick, if you could post a link in our groups.
Yeah, it's
again,
a custom.
It's
a custom ink fundraiser.
There's not going to be one sale on the shirt. I predict, but we'll watch. We'll see. I predict.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? David bought one. Where are you at, Neil? What's going on?
All right,
Yeah,
I might. I could do some t-shirts. All right, fellas.
Hey, we're on your date tonight.
I gotta be going real well.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody. And I will see you when I see you. Peace out.
All right, aloha.